Now I would like to call upon our first speaker on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, in today's competitive landscape with escalating margin pressure, scaling profitability requires technology and automation of data. And AI are the secret sauce driving e-commerce growth. Our speaker today will share how the brands can make growth predictable, accessible, affordable, and sustainable for brands of every size. Please put your hands together to welcome on stage Vardhan Phadnis, co-founder and chief sales officer for Shoptimize, who will talk about algorithmic e-commerce. Please put your hands together and let's welcome our first speaker on stage. Hi, welcome you. Please.
Is this on? Yeah, hi. Hi, good afternoon. Can you guys hear me fine? Awesome. Lovely to be among all of you. A fantastic event. Look forward to interacting with all of you. And today's topic is a bit different, right? It's a bit different than what you would have otherwise heard. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off today's keynote in a slightly different manner, right? We're going to start off with a quiz. And I am going to request 2 to 3 volunteers, 2 to 3 D2C founders to help me out with some of the questions that I'm going to ask. Very simple questions, nothing to worry about. But can I request 2 to 3 D2C founders as volunteers? I'm going to be able to do this only with your help. So if I can have 2 to 3 volunteers, that will be awesome. Anyone? All right. So maybe, Anurag, maybe I'll ask you for help. Anyone else? Maybe one more person? Yes. Okay. Okay, I think we have one over here and okay, fantastic. So if I can request the mic to be passed on. Yeah, maybe we can start off with the lady on the first table right here. Can we pass on the mic to her, please? Okay, hi.
Hi.
Your name, please?
Janvi. I'm the founder of Shistaka Wellness.
Janvi from Shistaka, fantastic.
Yeah.
And what products do you sell?
So basically, we're a wellness brand. We offer premium quality organic herbal green teas. We're a holistic wellness green tea brand.
Fantastic. All right. So, this is the quiz, right? So,
yeah.
We're going to start off with how many SKUs do you have? If we can use that as an input.
30.
30?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are slabs.
Sure.
So, and I'm going to ask for help to fill in this data. So we're going to put 50 over there. These are
50.
slabs. And Janvi, how many countries do you sell your products to?
Currently, it's 3.
3?
Yes.
All right. And how many channels? Maybe there's marketplace e-commerce, there's your own D2C e-commerce, there's exports.
I think it's more than like 12 to 13 marketplaces for sure.
Right. So let's say 13?
Yeah.
Yeah? Fantastic. And I'm going to ask the next volunteer to help out with the rest of the questions. So if we can pass on the mic to the gentleman right there. Can somebody please help out?
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah.
Your name, please?
My name is Aditya Sana.
Aditya?
Yeah, I am founder of Blue Pixel Media and Entertainment.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So is that a D2C brand?
Yeah, we work with we are having our own brand, Bluebuzz.
Okay.
So here we sell microphones and other accessories related to video creations.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So then, if I may ask, how many advertising mediums do you use? You know,
Uh,
Google, Facebook, email, whatever, right?
We use 5 advertising mediums.
5?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let's say 5. And I think the screen is covered, but I'm sure you would have multiple variables, right? There's inventory, there's number of SKUs,
Yeah.
there's, so how many variables, if I may ask?
Inventories
Approximately,
are there, SKUs
right?
are there. There are 5 to 6 variables are there.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
cool. So I think, again, these are slabs, yeah. So let's say 10, right? If you can scroll down. So now, moving on further, how many team members?
We are having 15 people.
15 people, okay.
Yeah.
So this has up to 10, so I'm just going to choose 10 over here. And how many hours per day? This is an interesting question.
Approximately 6.5 to 7 hours per day they used to work.
All right, so let's say 7 hours per day. And 5 days a week, 6 days a week?
6 days a week.
6 days a week, fantastic, okay. This, all of these inputs put together, and I kind of juggled between 2 businesses, right?
Okay.
But we are looking at 5 decisions per minute based on this calculator,
Okay.
right? 5 decisions per minute for you to make as the brand owner, and that is the number that I want everybody to note. Let that sink in. 5 decisions per minute. Yeah. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share 2 stories with all of you. Yeah. If we can move back to the presentation, please. So I'm going to share 2 stories with all of you. These stories are of 2 D2C brands. Very similar journeys, right? Similar starting points, similar everything. And that's why we can even draw a parallel in the first place. So 2 journeys. The first one of a healthcare nutrition brand. So let's see how that journey goes. So, this brand was incepted. They decided to embark on their D2C journey, right? We are only going to focus on D2C because this is a D2C Revolution Summit. So they decided to embark on their D2C journey, got themselves a nice Shopify website, decided to have a small 3-member team in place. They hired somebody to take care of their Shopify website, manage the catalog, manage website tech, etc., etc. Hired one digital marketer, hired somebody else for e-com operations. So that was the team to begin with. 3 months into the journey, they started scaling up. They started seeing good traction on the GMV front. They hit a decent ROAS of 4 in the first 3 months. At this point in time, they were operating, as I said, with a 3-member team, doing their own marketing campaigns via Google, Facebook, email, Instagram, the usual channels, and with their Shopify website. They did not particularly invest in any other technology per se. Yeah. So this was at 3 months. Fast forward 3 more months, 6 months, when they reached that particular stage, what happened was GMV started scaling up. Now, all of you as D2C brand founders have GMV as a mandate, right? It's non-negotiable. I'm sure all of us agree with that. GMV growth is non-negotiable. We got to hit what we got to hit, and that's how we're going to grow. So they hit that GMV. But at the same time, what happened was complexity increased. I'm sure all of you again would agree with me. Complexity increased. More importantly, data volume increased. It ballooned. It ballooned. There were probably, I don't know, 1 million odd events that were added to the base. And that's when things became quite difficult for them to manage. Difficult in the sense, comprehending the data, understanding how business is doing in terms of numbers, figuring out, how to make sense of that data, what conclusions to derive. Sure, bright people all around, but they were finding it very difficult to keep up with the scale, right? So we are increasing with every month. Think of that. And with increase in scale, you of course have more complexity. And at that point in time, what happened was, in order to hit that GMV number, they took certain decisions which probably were not fully cost optimized. And therefore, if you see the orange line, ROAS started dropping, right? Orange is ROAS, as you can see. So that started dropping, right? Cost pressures increased, workload for the team increased. At this point in time, one team member quit. Nobody wants to be in that situation. So of course, the brand founder decided to find a replacement. Took him 2 months to find a replacement, 3 more months for that resource to be fully efficient and fully up to speed. And fast forward 6 more months, so at the end of the first year, GMV fine was achieved, right? No problem, because again, GMV growth is non-negotiable. It's a mandate. But at the same time, cost efficiencies were nowhere in the picture, and ROA significantly dropped, and at this point in time, the brand founder was like, okay, I probably need more team members. It's becoming very difficult for me to manage this scale, right? Market is responding well. People are buying my products, but it's becoming very difficult for me to manage scale. How do I deal with this? So of course, the solution in that person's head was, okay, I need more team members. Hey, but at the same time, I have immense cost pressure. So it's chicken and egg, right? You guys see what I'm trying to say? So it's chicken and egg. You try to figure out, okay, I need more team members. You try to invest, but then you are left with very little budget because all of your budget is kind of eaten up in driving that particular GMV growth. And that's how the first year ended for that particular brand. Now, moving forward, there's another story, right? Another story from another brand, this one in the apparel and fashion space. As I mentioned earlier, this, again, the two brands, let's say they were completely on par, right? Their journeys and their starting points and everything was on par. And that's why, it's kind of easy to draw an analogy between the two. So again, started off, got themselves a nice Shopify website to embark on their D2C journey, put together a 3-member team, similar skill set. These guys, after 3 months, again started seeing scale. I'm sure all of you would agree that, if you do the right things, if you invest correctly, you do see scale, right? India is a market right now where people want to try out new brands. That's why there is this D2C revolution, right? That's why we are here, even here in the first place. So they started seeing scale, no problem. Scale was there, yeah? However, in contrast to the first brand, the second brand owner, she had the vision of figuring out that, hey, if I do not invest in the right tech, if I do not invest in the right tools, my efficiency is going to take a beating. And therefore, while the product market fit is established, right? 3 months, utna to time lagi jata hai product market fit establish karne mein. So if the product market fit is now established, I might as well now figure out how to invest in efficiency, because with scale you require efficiency. Otherwise, you'll just bleed. And that's when this particular founder decided to invest in a tool that essentially helped out with certain direct automated insights recommendations, right? An AI ML powered tool that helped out with insights recommendations based on all data that the brand had and telling them exactly what needs to be done. So the 3 team members that you see do not have to stare at graphs, do not have to generate reports, do not have to monitor campaigns day in, day out, do not have to keep a micro eye. And of course, everybody is, we are all humans, right? Error is something that is part and parcel of our life. So you don't have to really face those kind of challenges because there's technology to help you out, is what the brand founder's vision was. So she decided to invest in this particular product, which was going to help her take right decisions at the right time. So fast forward 3 more months. At this point in time, her team was more of analysts than executioners. Again, let this sink in. So these 3 team members actually had a lot of time to make sense of the business, rather than churning out reports, rather than monitoring campaigns full time, rather than figuring out, oh, that particular landing page performance has gone for a toss. I need to fix that performance. Let me see what is the right tool on the Shopify App Store to fix that performance. None of that, right? Because the tool assisted in decision making, right? And that's what I'm referring to as technology-led decision making, right? Again, point to be noted is there was no attrition over here. Nobody left because they were all very happy with what they were doing because they were doing some intelligent work, not some mundane run-of-the-mill tasks that probably the first brand's team undertook. And at the end of the first year, they hit their GMV numbers. And more importantly, ROAS also was decently stable at the end of the first year. Most importantly, there was no need for augmenting the team. So it's like a win-win situation all around. So I hope you guys are able to see the point that I'm trying to make over here, right? And that precisely is the topic for today. Yeah, that precisely is what I'm referring to as algorithmic e-commerce. And I'm going to spend the next few minutes drawing out an analogy between the stock market and our e-commerce growth world, right? So how was stock market back then, right? People used to call up their broker, saying, "Arey, ye share kharido, wo share becho," and the broker used to execute that. And interestingly, all these stock tips were mostly word of mouth, right? The broker used to say, "Market mein tip mila hai, ye wala share kharido," and there used to be no base for that, right? There used to be no base for that. And how is the stock market world now? The stock market world now is filled with some amazing products in Zerodha, ICICI Direct, ShareKhan, all of these amazing tools now are at your fingertips in your mobile phone. And that's what is kind of ruling the roost with the millennials. They are undertaking their stock transactions through their mobile phones. They are buying, they are selling. More importantly, they are getting their stock tips on their mobile phones, right? There's no word of mouth, there's no market mein tip mila hai, none of that, right? It's all on the person's phone. It's educated, it's scientific, and it's somebody's hard work and research that is coming in the form of that stock tip. And that precisely is the analogy that I want to draw. So e-commerce world, a few years back, again, has been quite manual in nature. I would say, data-driven decision-making has not really been a very common phenomenon. And, word of mouth growth tips have been kind of ruling the roost. Today, we have the right kind of technology, we have the right kind of tools, we have the right kind of AI and ML-based technologies to tell you what needs to be done, what needs to be executed, and that's precisely how the world is going to be today and going ahead in the future. And that precisely is algorithmic e-commerce. Thank you very much.